What would you rather someone do if they see you in public? You are with Wynnie in the grocery store.
Hmm.
What do you want the response to be? What do you want people to say to you as a special needs mom?
I just more gravitation towards us than repelling from the awkward or the I don't know, so I'm not going to extend myself to find out. I think, walking up to families and just the more comfortable we get interacting with families that have children or adults with special needs, the more you don't even think about it. I think that's something I've really learned these past several years at ESP. Like, just like anything, the more you're around something, the less different or um, awkward it is.
All right, while the girls are on the playground and well taken care of out there, I'm excited just to talk as moms, the three of us moms together. This SEEABILITY collection, SEEABILITY Shine, really is to have a great conversation with kids about abilities and disabilities and how to see the abilities in themselves and in the abilities of others. And I know there's moms out there that are curious, how do I talk about people with disabilities? How do I activate the abilities of my own kids? And I know that's what we all want really as moms, is to allow our kids to see their abilities and for them to see others' abilities. And so Katie, we're fortunate to have you here in Athens. Our studio is at ESP Athens, and you and your family have been involved with ESP for a long time, and you kind of have a non-traditional story with how you got involved with ESP and Wynnie. So will you just share a little bit about how you found ESP, about Wynnie's experience here, and what ESP means to your family?
Yeah, happy to. We were blessed to learn about ESP before Winnie was even born. She's 6, she'll be 7 in October. So we're coming up on 7 years about knowing and being involved in ESP, because I found out in May when I was still pregnant with her that she had Down syndrome, and someone told us about ESP and specifically Java Joy and invited us to our first Java Joy event. So yeah, gosh, coming up on 7 years of being introduced to one of the most amazing organizations and cultures that I could even imagine for our family. Gonna get emotional. Um, when you find out you're gonna have a daughter that at the time I thought was gonna be a lot different than most of the other babies that were being born around the same time, you just want to find a place where they feel like they belong and they feel celebrated. And Java Joy and ESP were just that and have been that for the past 7 years. We started off, like I said, going to a Java Joy event and meeting individuals that I got to see, okay, this is an opportunity that Winnie's going to have when she's an adult. And she'll get the opportunity to work and make people smile, like she does already. But then we moved into a music therapy class, an ES play, and then when she turned 4, she got to get involved in the full array of ESP opportunities. And so this summer will be her 3rd summer of overnight camp. I mean,
wow.
I probably won't send my typical son to overnight camp until he's 12. But she went at 4 and has never missed a year and would be so mad at me if I ever let that happen. So she just enjoys being at ESP, and anytime I tell her we're headed to ESP, it brings a big smile to her face. So it's a place where she feels like she belongs, and almost even better, it's a place where my son, who doesn't have special needs, feels like he belongs. And he gets to see people of all abilities interact. And I think it's so important for our typical children as well to be engulfed in a community like ESP. And it's something we take for granted sometimes when we travel and we see that or we hear about friends in other places that don't have a playground of possibilities and don't get to play with people of all abilities. We can tell that those communities haven't been changed like Athens has. So we're very fortunate, and I could talk on and on about ESP and how
I
much we
love
love this
that.
community.
No, I think it's just so unique, your story of you happen to be here in Athens and your parents had supported ESP, and you just never know when it's going to personally touch you. And I'll never forget, I was at that Java Joy event when you came just a couple days after you found out Wynnie had been diagnosed in utero.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched you and your mom was with you see three of our Joyristas, and everyone was a little teary. And I was like, what's going on? And it wasn't tears of sadness. Like, I remember it was tears of like, this could be my daughter one day, and she can have friendship and a job, and her abilities can be celebrated. And I cherish that moment in my heart because I remember that, and just that gift of allowing you to see these beautiful girls, and that Winnie was going to have a beautiful life and be celebrated. And I think ultimately, like, as a mom of three kids, sometimes you don't know what your kids' abilities are, and when they're in utero, you're like, who is this child going to be, or what sex are they going to be, right? Because you don't know if it's a boy or girl.
Right.
And then who are they going to become, whether they have a disability or not? And our only hope for them is that they can be seen for their abilities, and they can have purpose and community in their life. And I feel like one of the things I love about Abby, you and Charlotte is getting to see those abilities. Like, we are all a recipient of Charlotte's abilities online, and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok can be used for so many different things. But there is a small group of people, and I'd put Charlotte in that are using it as a platform to inspire and to remind us. And so tell us a little bit about, like, how did that all develop, and what abilities did you see in Charlotte? When did you know she had these abilities to communicate in the way that she does? Give us a window into that.
Yeah, I mean, she was born, she is a happy child, pretty much all the time. And my older daughter was interested in getting into acting, and she was 2 or 3, and just, made people laugh, very outgoing, never met a stranger, would do faces. And so I took her along to see an agent, and then they eventually both got signed. And just, yeah, she landed her first role when she was 4, and I didn't know what she was going to do. You don't know what a 4-year-old is going to do.
Right.
I
Kind
had
of scary.
little wrapped like gifts, like, okay, let's get through today. And I mean, she loved it. Like, didn't flinch, would go with anybody. And she loves it. She loves meeting new people, adults, kids, it doesn't matter. And so, and then the Instagram, just kind of through acting, we started an account for her, and then just to show her personality, just started making little reels. And I had no intention of it like blowing up or anything, but I think just because she has that little sparkle or something, it kind of took off. And she loves making people happy and make people laugh, and then I love using it to help other people. So we've done some great stuff with kids with cancer as well. And so when you guys reached out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect.
And I am so thankful because there's so many people out there that are too busy to do things like this, or may say, what's in it for me? And that has not been our experience with you. And you do truly want to use it for good. So how are you instilling that heart of service into your kids? And talk a little bit about why you want them to be involved and to serve opportunities like this.
Well, I feel like we have so much to give. We're blessed, and I love my older girls. They volunteer at the church, and so I love that they do that and give back. And then with Charlotte, I try to include her, so it's not just me doing it. So like when we shopped for a family, she came with me, and then we dropped it off, and she could just see, how the people running the program were excited that we've had all these wrap gifts. So trying to include her, that hopefully as she grows older, she'll want to continue to reach out and just help people as well. So
I think that's so great. Sometimes I like to remind myself, and I'm a product of this because of my parents. It's like, even if it's a rocky road, what we do today is what our kids will display. It's not what we're saying, it's what we're modeling. And so I know I found the best version of myself around people who are different than me. and I found the best version of myself in serving. And so it's not just about the person you're serving, right? It's about becoming the best version of yourself and activate the abilities of all. And I definitely saw that in the exchange of the girls. How did it feel for both of you seeing your girls enjoy each other? They met each other for the first
Yeah.
time today. So tell me a little bit about how that felt.
Oftentimes I say like Wynnie is everything that I wish I could be. And I saw that today. I mean, like she'll just walk up. She just ran up to Charlotte like they were best friends already, and just saw her sunshine, saw her abilities. And when you said Charlotte was like she is a magnet. I mean,
Yeah.
and so she was welcoming to Wynnie. When he saw that, she felt that, and she grasped onto that, and now we're planning a play
Yeah,
date.
right.
And we've known
Yeah, and
each
I
other
love
for
that.
2 hours. So that's something that I really saw in Charlotte, but also in Wynnie. Like I said, I mean, Wynnie will just dance like no one's watching. I've never been able to do that. She'll make a new friend like this, and I can't say that I can do the same. And so I think it's amazing what we learn through our kids anyways, but especially through our children like Charlotte and Wynnie, who just have that natural gift of, expelling joy and radiating love for
Yeah.
all around them.
Yeah, no, that's
How do you want your daughters, what do you want them to take away from this experience?
I mean, we've talked about what abilities mean because it's on the shirts, and we've talked about everybody has different abilities, and they're all amazing, and that's what makes them. And Charlotte said, "Oh yeah, unique." So like she knows, and I just like that she knows that, and hoping that she can maybe spread and teach others the same thing.
Yes.
So I think she understands that we're all different, and so yeah, that was when she said the word unique in the car. I was like, yes, that's exactly right.
Putting a positive light, I think, yeah. And just like you said, we're more alike than we are different.
Yes.
And seeing that, shifting our perspective to that, I think is so important.
And I think like all of us moms, whether you have a child with a disability or not, we want our kids to be inclusive. We want them to be welcoming. We want them to see ability. And I think we don't always know how to teach them that. Like we don't always know the words to say. We don't always know. And in my experience being here 20 years and trying to raise my own 3 kids the best that I can, and sometimes I do it well and sometimes not, I've seen and we know from research that it takes not just telling our kids, but it takes an experience. And like I'm imagining 17-year-old Charlotte and like what she's going to remember about today. And I'm imagining her in a restaurant or on a movie set or something interacting with someone with a different ability, and she has that neural cycle that was built today. And that's what we need is we need positive neural connections with people who are different from us in order to really create the change and the acceptance and the belonging that we want our kids to see. And so I'm just thankful that you were willing to drive out here and spend time
Oh yeah,
because
no, it's been wonderful.
I think it's gonna benefit Charlotte down the road, but also communicate to anybody who's watching. Like maybe there's a parent out there who's like, I don't know how to help my kid to be accepting and inclusive. And if they don't have an ESP near them, it starts with like finding a neighbor or a play date with someone with autism or cerebral palsy or Down syndrome to allow your child to learn and experience what it's like to interact with people who are different from them. And you guys definitely did that today. Abby, the name SEEABILITY is pretty powerful. How do you think the world changes when we choose to look at people and see the abilities in others?
Well, yeah, I mean, like seeability to me means seeing what anyone and everyone is capable of, their own abilities. And I think when we do that, then we stop looking at people like in like a box, and like it just opens up our perspective and their value and their opportunities. And then we can just, I feel like as a community, we're stronger. We can all work together and each do our own little part, because we all have different abilities.
The sum of all the parts, right? Yeah, collectively together. When someone supports SEEABILITY, Katie, what impact are they making here at ESB? Like they can buy a t-shirt anywhere, right? I mean, you can find a cool dry fit shirt or a cute hat anywhere on Amazon or whatnot. But why choose SEEABILITY? What's the impact?
I would love a world where we we're not as focused on the differences and more focused on the similarities that we all have.
I love that. And it's like, yes, the funding goes to support ESP and provide sustainable income, but more than that, that message of seeability starts a conversation. And a conversation that maybe a 3-year-old would have regardless, that some of us would feel awkward asking. And I always say aha is on the other side of awkward. It's like leaning into the awkward, and it's the aha on the other side. And as a special needs mom, and I've heard this from several special needs moms, it's like, what would you rather someone do if they see you in public? You are with Wynnie in the grocery store. What do you want the response to be? What do you want people to say to you as a special needs mom?
I just more gravitation towards us than repelling from the awkward or the I don't know, so I'm not going to extend myself to find out. I think, walking up to families, and just the more comfortable we get interacting with families that have children or adults with special needs, the more you don't even think about it. I think that's something I've really learned these past several years at ESP. Like, just like anything, the more you're around something, the less different or awkward it is. And I think, again, places like ESP and the Playground of Possibilities, or more inclusion in our classrooms, like all of those things are leading towards that end goal. Does that answer?
Yeah, absolutely. I hear it from parents that have kids with special needs all the time, but then there's the other side of it as a parent that doesn't have kids with disabilities. It's like, well, what if I say something wrong? Or what if I mess up? Or what if I say the wrong word? Or what if I lean the wrong way? Or what if I make the kid upset? And I hear families of kids with special needs say, like, no, we would much rather you say the wrong thing and lean in and be drawn in instead of repelled.
Is where I tell people a lot of times, like, it's where if you can tell that they're coming from a good place, like, it doesn't matter the word you say, but if you can tell that someone is coming in from a place of love, like, that's what matters, because they want to know, they want to learn your child, and like, who doesn't want someone to know and love their child? So
it's the greatest gift. Anyone that loves my child,
I
instantly love.
Yeah.
Right. And so regardless of what you say or don't say, if you come from a place of love and come from a place of seeing the ability first, like, hey, it's a really cool wheelchair. Wynnie, you have a beautiful smile. Hey, your daughter has a beautiful smile. We start with the ability, and it leans us in. That awkward to aha gives us an opportunity to connect with a human, which is what our soul really desires anyway, is to connect with humans. Okay, a few last questions for you guys. Katie, you first. If our SEEABILITY mascot, Seymour, described Abby, what would he say about Abby?
Advocate. I think, I see you advocate each of your 4 daughters' abilities, and it sounds like they run the whole gamut. And so I've seen, just in the few hours I've known you, you advocate or hear about how you've advocated for each of your daughters. And then I see how that has translated into advocating for communities like ESP. That light has shone through Charlotte, and just seeing how she just radiates joy and acceptance, and now advocates for herself just at 7 years old. It's amazing. So that's what I would say.
I definitely saw those abilities, and you can see the characteristics of a parent through their child. And I saw that as well. Okay, Abby, if Seymour described Katie, what abilities would he say?
I would say, an amazing mom. 3, soon to be 3, young children. And I can really see how she lets Winnie's ability shine. Because of her smile, she's like just lights up a room, and you can see it, and how she looks at her mom. And so I can tell that she just lets her shine everywhere she goes. So
one of the abilities that I think both of you guys have is you dance so beautifully, the dance, and I saw it today, of encouraging your daughters and letting their abilities shine, and then letting them figure out how their abilities shine. And like, Wynnie wanted to do everything that Charlotte was doing. We did like a fun reel and she wanted to do it and you let her do it.
Yeah.
And she was eating the icing at one point. Charlotte had her own opinions about her cookie and you like empowered them and allowed their abilities to activate, but then you guided them and you were kind of there to brush the hair and do the things as needed. And I think that is a dance that we as moms have. And I think both of you just do that so beautifully. Okay, last question. You can take this anywhere. It can be big picture. It can be a place you want to visit. What is one thing that you have never seen that you wish you could see? One thing you've never seen that you wish you could see. Katie, we'll start with you.
Oh gosh, I was hoping you would start with Abby.
I mean,
Are you ready? You want to
go
start?
for it,
Is that
Abby.
okay?
Actually, I am so impressed with this place. We have a small, called Happy Feet near us, but like I would love to see a place, a ESP in Gwinnett County or close to us, because I'm just like so much going on, a snack shop and everything. It's incredible. So that's what y'all can come our way.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Awesome.
I think the reason I struggle with asking or answering this is because I can't say this is something I've never seen because I've seen it today in Charlotte, but like for everyone to be like Charlotte, like for all, because it is harder. It's almost like as adults we get a little better at it, but there's not many children, especially that young, that just can see abilities the way Charlotte does. And, as Wynnie gets older, you do see the gap grow a little more. And I remember people telling me this, but, there will come a day when she's not like every other 6-year-old. But when we were with Charlotte today, she felt like another 6 or 7-year-old. And so maybe something I've never seen is a place where every single person is like that. But I think this line is helping us get to that point. And if every community, just like Abby said, could have organizations like this and ways to advocate and promote the abilities, then we'll get there. And then we will see that one day.
I love that. And if you are a mom or a dad watching and you see Abby and Katie and you're like, I want my kids to be inclusive. I want my child to be like Charlotte. And maybe they're 14 and 15 and they've passed the age of 7. There's still so much time. And this collection is for you. These shirts and these hats and the Instagram posts that we have and the video, and this is for you to sit down with your child and to have a conversation with them about what it looks like to see abilities. What abilities do they see in Wynnie? What abilities do they see in Charlotte? What abilities do they have? Because they may not know or be able to explain what abilities they have. What abilities do you have as a parent? And then translate that to seeing the ability in all people, whether it's someone with a disability or not, and then exercising it as a family and practicing it as a family. So we hope that you will take some time to sit down with your child, take some time to have a family conversation, support ESP through the SEEABILITY Shine collection. We would love to have you part of the conversation, and we would love for your child to be like Charlotte and to be like Wynnie and have the opportunity to exchange the joy that we saw here today. So thank you so much for watching us. Thank you for being a part of the SEEABILITY Watchcast. Seymour has joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies, thank you for bringing your girls, for spending the morning with us. You guys crushed it. You're amazing moms. Thank you for who you are and for what you do. Here at SEEABILITY, we envision a world that sees you the way your dog sees you. So thank you for joining us here on the SEEABILITY Watchcast, and we'll see you next time. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends. We hope this message of seeing the ability and letting them shine can go worldwide.